Okay, picture this. It's 2 a.m., and you suddenly get this incredible surge of absolute certainty that you're going to completely change your life. You're going to start that business, finally get your finances in order, and you map out this entire master plan in your head, totally convinced that tomorrow is the day everything changes, right? But then morning comes, the alarm goes off, and all of that burning ambition just completely evaporates. Today, we are diving deep into the psychology, the neuroscience, and the behavioral economics behind why we do this. So what's really going on here? Why do millions of us dream about building wealth but never actually take that first scary step? I mean, we all want the freedom and the security that comes with success, yet when it's time to do the actual work, this bizarre, overpowering paralysis just sort of sets in. And guess what? It turns out this is not just about being lazy. There is some deeply rooted biology actively working against your financial dreams, and understanding how it works is absolutely crucial if you want to beat it. So here's our roadmap for this explainer. We're going to break down the great wealth contradiction, look at why your brain prefers comfort, bust wide open the self-improvement trap, contrast wanting money versus actually building wealth, and finally, show you exactly how to break the cycle. All right, let's jump right into part 1, the great wealth contradiction, dreaming big versus actually doing it. First off, if you're stuck, you are absolutely not alone. There are literally millions of brilliant, super capable people who are effectively frozen in place. They are standing right on the edge of their potential, but just never take the leap. We live in an era where the exact blueprint for success is free on the internet, yet for the vast majority of people, the needle just doesn't move. To figure out why millions are trapped in this endless cycle of inaction, we've got to look inward, straight into our own biology. Which brings us to part 2. Your brain prefers comfort and the surprising science of inaction. Here is a wild psychological insight for you. It's called the illusion of motivation, and it perfectly explains why that massive burst of 2 a.m. ambition is totally gone by breakfast. Basically, it's the false belief that a temporary surge of inspiration is enough to create lasting change. We mistakenly think that because we feel incredibly motivated in one specific moment, that emotional high is just going to seamlessly carry over into disciplined action days later. But honestly, that is simply not how human neurochemistry works. You know the drill. At 2 a.m., your mind is racing with this intense inspiration. But by 8 a.m., when you're actually facing the day, that motivation drastically fades. And by noon, you have completely retreated back to your comfort zone. See, from an evolutionary standpoint, your brain is highly optimized to conserve energy and keep you safe from the unknown. Stepping outside your comfort zone to build wealth, that requires a massive amount of cognitive energy, and your primitive brain violently resists it. In fact, your brain uses 3 specific fears, these silent killers, to prioritize immediate comfort over your long-term success. The fear of failure, fear of judgment, and fear of uncertainty. When you even think about starting a business or taking a financial risk, your nervous system literally registers that uncertainty the exact same way it would register a physical predator in the wild. It pulls the internal alarm and essentially begs you to go back to what is familiar, predictable, and safe. Okay, moving on to part 3, the self-improvement trap, or the illusion of progress. I bet you've literally said this out loud. I just need to watch one more video to figure out the perfect strategy before I start. Man, this excuse sounds so familiar, doesn't it? And it feels completely believable because it masquerades as productivity. We convince ourselves we're just preparing, learning, and gathering essential data. But in reality, we're just hiding behind information. We are letting the endless pursuit of this imaginary perfect plan stop us from just executing a good enough plan today. Here is the harsh reality. Consuming self-help content without actually applying it is really just a sneaky form of procrastination and instant gratification. When you binge educational content without taking action, you are just feeding your brain a hit of unearned dopamine. Your brain basically confuses the act of learning about success with the act of actually achieving success. It gives you a chemical reward just for watching a video about getting rich, which totally drains your drive to go out and do the difficult, unglamorous work required to actually earn it. Now for part 4, wanting money versus actually building wealth. So there is a massive difference between the dreamer and the successful person. The dreamer just wants money. They have this mindset of desiring instant cash infusions and relying entirely on motivation. But the successful person is focused on building wealth. They desire long-term assets and rely on rock-solid habits. Ultimately, dreamers just want a big event to happen to them, but successful people build a process.
And contrary to what the internet might tell you, true wealth building really isn't about hustle culture or hype. The reality of success is roughly 10% motivation and a staggering 90% systems and habits. Motivation is just the spark that starts the engine, right? But the systems are the engine itself. Systems are what keep you moving forward on a random Tuesday morning when it's raining, you're exhausted, and that fear of uncertainty starts creeping back into your mind.
Finally, part 5, how to break the cycle with actionable strategies. To actually win this game, you have to acknowledge this hardwired biological bias before you can outsmart it. Behavioral economics proves that we heavily discount future rewards in favor of immediate, effortless comfort. This is a concept known as hyperbolic discounting. Basically, it means the massive long-term reward of being wealthy in 10 years feels way less valuable to your brain right now than the immediate reward of just lying on the couch doing nothing today. You can't just wish this evolutionary bias away. You literally have to engineer your environment and your actions to bypass it. So by actively following these 3 steps, you can shift your entire operating model from just waiting around for inspiration to relying on guaranteed execution. First, acknowledge your brain's comfort bias. Catch your mind when it's playing tricks on you to keep you safe. Second, build reliable daily systems that don't require high levels of willpower. And third, take small actions despite the fear and uncertainty. Remember, the goal isn't to magically eliminate the fear of failure, because that's impossible. The goal is to feel the fear and take a tiny step forward anyway. Think of this as your ultimate cheat sheet for changing your daily reactions. A dreamer waits to feel ready, but a doer acts way before feeling ready, because they know readiness is a total illusion. A dreamer consumes endless content, falling right into that instant gratification trap, while a doer learns just one concept and applies it immediately. And finally, a dreamer is paralyzed by the mere possibility of failure, whereas a doer fully expects to fail and simply uses it as data to learn and adjust. So I want to leave you with this one final thought. If motivation is really just an illusion, what daily system are you going to build today? Stop waiting for that fleeting 2 a.m. burst of inspiration and start building the unbreakable 8 a.m. habit. Close this explainer, step out of that comfort zone, and go apply exactly what you just learned.